Have you ever wondered what makes someone suddenly crave your attention? That moment when you decide to take a step back, focus on yourself, and reclaim your power. When you realize your own self-worth and stop chasing after them, something shifts. It's as if a light bulb goes off in their mind and they suddenly realize what they've lost. They didn't anticipate this change, but now they can't imagine life without you. This isn't just a coincidence. It's the direct result of you taking control and shifting your energy inward. When you stop giving them your attention, they're forced to face the reality of your absence. They start to realize they took you for granted, and now the thought of losing you becomes overwhelming. As the saying goes, don't chase. Let them realize they need you, not the other way around. And as you continue to focus on yourself, something incredible happens. You become even more magnetic, more desirable. Your silence becomes powerful, making them crave your attention more than ever before. They start to see what they're missing, and the regret only deepens. Welcome to Stoic Journey. If you're ready to harness this power, to make them realize just how much they need you, get ready. We're diving into 9 undeniable truths that will show you exactly why they only want you when you no longer want them. This isn't just about shifting the balance, it's about taking control. Before we dive in, here's a challenge to set the stage for what's to come. If you're ready to become that person who effortlessly occupies their thoughts, drop a comment below with the phrase, "I deserve better." This isn't just a catchy line. It's a commitment to mastering these Stoic skills and turning yourself into someone unforgettable. Let your thoughts and actions leave such a powerful imprint that they can't help but think about you over and over again. Who's ready to embrace this mindset and start mastering the art of becoming an irresistible thought in someone's mind? Let's dive in and explore the strategies that will put you in the driver's seat of your own life. Number 1. The shift in dynamics. Picture this. You've been the one putting in all the effort, texting first, making plans, doing everything you can to keep the relationship afloat. You're basically a one-person cheerleading squad, always rooting for them. But what happens when you decide, you know what, I'm done? You stop putting them on that pedestal and start focusing on yourself. It's like that pivotal moment in a movie where the underdog realizes their worth and stops trying to impress everyone else. And guess what happens next? The dynamics shift. Suddenly, you're no longer the one seeking validation. They are. They start to feel that change, and it throws them off balance. This shift is powerful because it forces them to see you in a new light. As the great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." When you stop giving away your power and start reclaiming it, they can't help but notice. You're no longer bending to their will, and that makes you incredibly intriguing. Think about it this way. When you're always available and eager, they know exactly where they stand with you. But when you pull back, when you stop being so predictable, it creates a sense of mystery. Suddenly, they're not sure if they still have your attention, and that uncertainty can be downright irresistible. Here's a fun example. Remember that time you were really into a TV show, then the plot got a little boring, so you stopped watching? But then your friend tells you the latest episode had a crazy twist, and suddenly you're hooked again. You start binge watching to catch up, all because the show went from predictable to surprising. That's exactly what happens when you shift the dynamics in a relationship. You go from being that steady, predictable presence to someone who's a little harder to pin down, a little more intriguing. And let's not forget the humor in this situation. It's like when your cat suddenly decides to ignore you, and now you're the one desperately trying to get its attention. You're sitting there with the catnip saying, "Come on, Fluffy, I'm right here." Fluffy's off doing their own thing, and now you're the one feeling left out. That's exactly how they feel when you shift the dynamics. They're suddenly the ones trying to win you back. But remember, folks, this isn't about manipulation. It's about recognizing that relationships are a two-way street. If you've been doing all the heavy lifting, it's time to let go and see if they're willing to step up. And if they do, great. If not, you've just made room in your life for someone who'll appreciate you without needing a reminder. So, embrace the shift in dynamics. It's a powerful reminder that you deserve to be valued, not just by others, but by yourself. When you stop chasing, you create space for people to come to you. And those who truly value you will rise to the occasion. Keep focusing on your growth, your happiness, and your journey. Number 2, the rarity effect. Imagine this: you're always there, always available, always ready to drop everything for them. They get used to it. They start thinking your attention is something they can count on no matter what. But the moment you step back, something fascinating happens. Suddenly, they start noticing the space you leave behind. They begin to realize that your presence was not something to be taken for granted. And just like that, you've gone from being a constant in their life to something rare and valuable. Think about how we treat everyday objects versus rare collectibles. You wouldn't think twice about losing a pen because you can get another one anytime. But if you lose a rare, limited edition item, you'd feel the sting, wouldn't you? When you make yourself rare, you shift from being the everyday pen to that one-of-a-kind collectible they suddenly can't stop thinking of. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." When you realize that your time and attention are valuable commodities, you stop giving them away so freely. And trust me, when you pull back and start valuing your own time, others start to value it too. They start to see you not just as someone who's always there, but as someone whose presence is a privilege, not a given. Let's bring in a little humor to lighten this up. Remember when you were a kid and you'd ignore your toys until someone else wanted to play with them? Suddenly, that toy became the most interesting thing in the room. Adults aren't much different. We all want what we think we might lose, and that's exactly what happens when you create a little distance. Now, this isn't about playing hard to get or starting some kind of mind game. It's about genuinely focusing on yourself, your growth, your happiness. When you're not always around, when you're busy living your best life, they can't help but notice. Your absence becomes a powerful reminder of your worth, and they start craving that presence they once took for granted. Imagine a scenario where you're always texting, always available for a call, always saying yes to plan. Now flip the script. Imagine you start focusing on your passions, spending time with other friends, investing in your own growth. You're no longer the person who's always there. And that's when they start missing you. They start wondering what you're up to, why you're not around as much, and they begin to crave that connection they once overlooked. The rarity effect is a reminder that sometimes less is more. When you stop giving so much of yourself, you give others the chance to miss you, value you, and to realize what they stand to lose. It's a powerful tool, not just in relationships, but in life. Number 3, the pain of regret. Have you ever noticed how people often realize what they had only after it's gone? It's that classic, you don't know what you've got till it's gone scenario, but with a twist of Stoic wisdom. Imagine this. You've been there for someone, supporting them, caring for them, but they didn't quite appreciate it. Then one day you decide, enough is enough. Pull back, focus on yourself, and suddenly, bam, they're hit with the cold, that hard realization of what they've lost. It's like they're walking down memory lane, but instead of enjoying the stroll, they're tripping over the stones of regret. Regret is a powerful emotion, folks. It has a way of sneaking up on you and whispering in your ear, "What have you done?" For them, it's not just about missing you. It's about the deep, gnawing pain of knowing they had something great and let it slip away. As Seneca wisely said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. But here's the kicker. That end, for them, is the beginning of their regret. Now let's be real, regret can be a brutal teacher. It forces them to replay all the moments they took you for granted, all the times they didn't appreciate your value. It's like they're stuck in a loop, realizing over and over again what they've lost. And that's when they start to want you more than ever. They crave a second chance, even though they know deep down they may never get it. So if you ever feel like you're not being appreciated, remember this. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to step back and let them feel the pain of regret. It's not about being cruel. It's about letting them see your true worth. And who knows? that regret might just be the spark that ignites a new beginning. One where they finally realize you were always the one they truly needed. Stay strong, stay focused on your growth, and let the pain of their regret be a testament to your value. You're worth it. Number 4. The reversal of roles. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." And that's exactly what happens when you stop seeking their approval. By no longer bending over backward to keep them in your life, you put yourself in a position of power. They start wondering, wait, why aren't they chasing me anymore? Did I just lose something valuable? And that thought, that realization, is what turns the tables. Personally, I believe this reversal isn't just satisfying, it's empowering. It's about reclaiming your self-worth. Imagine you were always the one texting first, always making plans, but now you're not reaching out, you're not available, and they feel the shift. They start texting, trying to get your attention, trying to win back what they didn't appreciate before. It's a powerful moment when you see them realizing your value, something they once took for granted. The beauty of this reversal is that it's not about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's about recognizing your worth and acting accordingly. When you focus on yourself, you naturally become the prize. And here's the motivational part. By stepping back, you're not just gaining control of the situation, you're also teaching them a valuable lesson about your value. They begin to understand that your presence in their life isn't something to be taken lightly. In my view, this is one of the most empowering things you can do, not just in relationships but in life. It's a reminder that your time, energy, and attention are precious. When you invest them wisely, others start to notice. So keep shining, keep focusing on your growth, and watch how the roles naturally reverse in your favor. You've earned it. Number 5. Power of absence. You're always available, always there when they need a shoulder to lean on or someone to hang out with. They know you'll answer the phone at 2 a.m. if they call. They know you'll drop everything to spend time with them. But then one day, you decide to step back. You focus on your own life, your own growth, and you stop being so available. Suddenly, that guaranteed attention is gone, and they're left wondering, what happened? This is where the power of absence kicks in. Your absence creates a void, a gap in their life where you used to be. And here's the thing about voids. They don't like to be empty. They crave to be filled. Your absence forces them to confront the space you once occupied in their life, and they start to realize just how much they miss your presence. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely put it, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. When you're constantly there, they think they know everything about you, about your availability, about your value. But when you step back, they're forced to reevaluate. They realize they didn't appreciate you as much as they should have, and that's when they start to want you even more. Now, let's add a dash of humor here. It's like when your favorite TV show ends on a cliffhanger, and you're left hanging, desperate to know what happens next. Your absence is that cliffhanger in their life. They're left thinking, wait, did I miss the finale? What's going to happen now? And here's the real kicker. Absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder, it makes the mind race. They start imagining all the things you might be doing without them, all the fun you're having, all the new people you're meeting. Suddenly, they're no longer the star of your show, and that's when they start wanting to be part of the story again. But let's be clear. This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about understanding your own worth. It's about recognizing that you are valuable, and that value doesn't diminish just because someone doesn't see it right away. As the great Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By stepping back and focusing on yourself, you're not just showing them what they're missing, you're showing yourself what you deserve. So, folks, embrace the power of absence. It's a tool, a strategy, but more importantly, it's a reflection of your self-respect. When you step back, you're giving them the chance to realize just how much you mean to them. And if they don't realize it, well, that's their loss, not yours. Keep growing, keep focusing on yourself, and remember that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to simply be less available. this journey isn't just about making them want you, it's about making sure you want yourself even more. So go ahead, embrace your worth, and let your absence speak louder than words. Because when you value yourself, the right people will start to value you too. And folks, before we move on to the second point, you might be asking yourself, why do they only realize your value when you no longer want them? It's a scenario many of us have encountered. You've spent time and energy on someone, only for them to take you for granted. Then, something shifts. You decide enough is enough. You stop chasing, you stop caring, and you start focusing on yourself. Suddenly, they're struck by a jarring realization of your worth, and they begin to crave your attention. But why does this happen? The answer lies in the psychological and emotional dynamics of human behavior. When you're always available, always giving, people can easily fall into the trap of taking you for granted. They become accustomed to your presence, your attention, and your care. It's human nature to undervalue what is readily available, but the moment you decide to withdraw, to reclaim your energy and focus it inward, everything changes. This shift in dynamics forces them to confront the reality of your absence. Suddenly, what was once taken for granted becomes painfully noticeable. They start to realize the depth of what they're losing. Dependable presence, a source of support, perhaps even a source of love. As Marcus Aurelius said, best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By stepping back and focusing on yourself, you're not just taking back control, you're changing the narrative. When you stop being there, they are left with a void, and that void triggers a deep sense of regret and longing. They begin to realize that your value wasn't in your constant presence, but in the uniqueness of what you brought into their life, something that no one else can replace. This is the moment when they start to see your true worth, and it hits them hard. Moreover, by focusing on your growth, you naturally become more magnetic. Your self-confidence grows, your energy changes, and you start attracting more positivity into your life. This only intensifies their regret, because they now see a version of you that is even more desirable, yet more distant. In essence, they realize your value when you no longer want them because you've taken away the comfort of your presence. You've allowed them to see what life is like without you. And in that absence, your worth becomes glaringly obvious. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes stepping back is the most potent way to make someone realize they can't afford to lose you. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding human nature and using it to reclaim your own power and worth. Number 6. The allure of independence. While the allure of independence is undoubtedly powerful, there's another side to the story that often goes unspoken. Beauty of interdependence. This concept doesn't diminish the value of independence, but rather enhances it by recognizing the importance of meaningful connections with others. Consider this scenario. You've spent a significant amount of time focusing on your personal growth, your goals, and your happiness, just as in the previous example. But instead of completely detaching from those around you, you begin to appreciate the balance between self-sufficiency and mutual support. You start to see relationships not as dependencies, but as partnerships where both individuals thrive independently, yet are stronger together. The key difference here is that interdependence allows for a deeper connection without sacrificing your sense of self. When you understand that relationships are not about completing each other, but about complementing each other, you unlock a new level of fulfillment. Independence, while attractive, can sometimes lead to isolation if taken to the extreme. On the other hand, interdependence fosters a healthy dynamic where you continue to grow individually while also contributing to the growth of those around you. It's like being at a party and choosing to be the person who is confident and comfortable, but also open to meaningful interaction. This balance creates a magnetism that draws people to you, not because they miss your availability, but because they see value in the shared journey. Marcus Aurelius spoke of harmony with oneself, and that harmony can be extended to others when you live interdependently. When you thrive in your own life, while being open to collaboration and connection, you radiate a unique energy that is both independent and inclusive. So, why does interdependence matter? It matters because it signals a deeper understanding of self-worth. You're valuable on your own, yes, but you also recognize that human connection is a vital part of the human experience. It's not about needing others to complete you. It's about choosing to share your life with those who enrich it. Imagine you're no longer chasing after someone's approval, but you're also not shutting them out. Instead, you're building relationships based on mutual respect, shared goals, and genuine connection. This is where true attraction lies, not in the absence of need, but in the presence of shared growth. The takeaway here? Embrace both your independence and your interdependence. Cultivate your personal strengths while also nurturing the connections that matter. This dual approach not only enriches your own life, but also creates a powerful dynamic where others are drawn to you not out of a sense of loss, but out of a recognition of the value you both bring to each other's lives. Number 7. The contrast of confidence. Now, let's take a different approach to the idea of confidence and how it impacts our relationships. While bold confidence can indeed be magnetic, there's something equally powerful about quiet confidence. The kind that doesn't need to shout, but subtly shifts the atmosphere around you. Picture this. Instead of focusing on making a statement with your newfound confidence, you embrace a quiet assurance that speaks volumes without uttering a word. You aren't the person seeking validation anymore, but you're also not flaunting your independence. You're simply content within yourself, knowing that you don't need anyone else's approval to validate your worth. This quiet confidence is about being grounded, secure in who you are, and unbothered by others' opinions. It's like walking into a room without the need to draw attention, but still commanding respect, simply because of your presence. This type of confidence isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about living in harmony with yourself, much like the Stoic idea of responding to situations with calm and composure. In the scenario where you no longer want someone, your quiet confidence becomes even more potent. Instead of making them notice you through bold gestures, it's your subtle shift in energy that catches their eye. They see that you're no longer wrapped up in their world, but you aren't making a show of it either. You're just living your life with a serene sense of purpose. And that, in itself, is incredibly compelling. Imagine you're a mountain, strong, steady, and unmovable. The weather around you may change, but you remain constant. This is the essence of quiet confidence. It doesn't waver, and it doesn't need external validation to stand tall. When someone who once took you for granted sees this calm assurance, it can be even more striking than bold displays of independence. They begin to wonder how they missed this side of you, this depth of character that doesn't demand attention but naturally earns it. The beauty of quiet confidence is that it's not about playing games or trying to manipulate how others see you. It's about living authentically and being content with who you are, regardless of whether others notice. And yet, paradoxically, this very contentment is what draws people in. You're not just the butterfly with vibrant wings. You're the butterfly that doesn't need to show off its colors to know it can fly. You soar gracefully, quietly confident in your ability to navigate life on your terms. So, what's the takeaway? Embrace your quiet confidence. Let go of the need to be noticed or validated by others. Focus on being the best version of yourself, not because you want to prove something, but because you deserve to live a life that reflects your true. Number 8. The mystery of uncertainty. Let's flip the script a bit and explore the idea of uncertainty in relationships from a slightly different angle. While it's true that creating mystery can make you more intriguing to someone who once took you for granted, there's a deeper layer to this dynamic that's worth considering. Imagine this. Instead of intentionally creating uncertainty to pique someone's curiosity, you naturally embrace the unknown in your own life. This isn't about playing games or pulling back to manipulate their interest. It's about genuinely pursuing your own path, exploring new opportunities, and letting life unfold without needing to control every aspect. When you focus on your own journey, uncertainty becomes a natural part of your life. Not something you create to influence others, but something you embrace as you grow. This authentic relationship with the unknown can be incredibly attractive, as it shows that you're comfortable with change, with letting go of the familiar, and with evolving into a better version of yourself. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Living in uncertainty, fully and freely, means you're truly living. You're not stuck in old patterns, nor are you waiting for someone else to validate your choices. You're simply embracing life in all its unpredictability. Now, when someone who once took you for granted sees this side of you, someone who's not just mysterious but genuinely thriving in the unknown, it can be even more compelling than the classic push and pull dynamic. You're not just a puzzle they need to solve. You're a person who's continually growing, exploring, and evolving, and that makes you magnetic in a different way. The real intrigue lies in your ability to navigate uncertainty with grace and confidence. It's not about leaving them guessing intentionally, but about living so fully that they can't help but wonder what they're missing out on. You're not keeping them at arm's length to draw them in. You're simply too engaged in your own adventure to be predictable or easily pinned down. In this sense, uncertainty isn't just a tool for attraction. It's a byproduct of your authentic pursuit of growth and fulfillment. The less they know about what's next for you, the more they realize that you're someone who's constantly evolving, and that can be incredibly magnetic. So what's the takeaway? Embrace the ambiguity in your own life, not as a strategy to reel someone back in, but as a natural consequence of living fully and freely. The mystery isn't in your distance, it's in your dynamic, ever-changing journey. And as you continue to shine in your own unique way, you'll find that those who once underestimated you can't help but be drawn back in, eager to see where your path takes you next. Number 9, the fear of finality. Let's take a moment to unpack this concept of finality from a different perspective. The fear of losing someone can indeed be a powerful motivator, but it also speaks to a deeper truth about human relationship. The realization of what truly matters often comes with the prospect of it being gone for good. Imagine this. You've decided to move forward with your life, genuinely focusing on your growth and happiness. It's not about trying to make them realize what they've lost. It's about embracing the next chapter of your journey. And as you do, you create a sense of finality, not as a tactic, but as a natural progression of your own evolution. This finality isn't just a fear for them. It's a defining moment for you. The moment you recognize that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's validation or presence in your life. You're no longer waiting for someone to see your value because you've already acknowledged it within yourself. Now, when they see you thriving, living your best life, it might trigger that panic within them. A sudden jolt of reality that they might have taken something precious for granted. It's the classic realization that sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone. But here's the key difference. Your focus isn't on their regret, but on your own empowerment. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed, the color of its thought." In this scenario, their thoughts may be filled with regret and longing, but your thoughts are painted with self-assurance and fulfillment. You're not concerned with their reaction, you're centered on your own growth. This isn't about making them chase after you. It's about making peace with the fact that your life is moving forward, with or without them. Fear of finality is powerful, yes, but it's also a reminder to them, and to you, that nothing is guaranteed. Relationships require effort, appreciation, and presence, and when those elements are lacking, finality is the natural consequence. The beauty of this realization is that it's a win-win for you. Whether they try to win you back or not, you've already reclaimed your power. You've shown yourself that you're capable of thriving independently, and that's where your true strength lies. So, what's the takeaway here? Focus on your own path, and let the finality be a reflection of your growth, not a strategy to provoke a reaction. They realize they've lost something valuable. That's their journey to navigate. For you, focus remains on living authentically, valuing yourself, and moving forward with purpose and clarity. In the end, it's not about making someone fear losing you. It's about embracing the reality that your worth doesn't depend on whether they see it or not. By choosing yourself and continuing to grow, you become the person they might regret losing. But more importantly, you become the person you're proud to be. In the journey of life, Understanding your own worth is the most powerful realization you can achieve. When you choose to focus on yourself, embrace your growth, and move forward with confidence, you naturally attract the right people and opportunities into your life. Remember, it's not about making others realize your value. It's about living in a way that constantly reinforces your own. If you found these insights helpful and want to continue growing, discovering new perspectives, and empowering yourself, don't miss out. Subscribe today to stay connected with more content that inspires, motivates, and supports you on your journey. Join our community and let's continue to thrive together.